The following video you're about to see is my review of the first season of the American version of Pokemon. I will not be covering the original Japanese version of the first season of Pokemon in this video because the American version differs greatly from the original Japanese version of Pokemon. I would imagine that the plot remains the same, but how they handle the dialogue, as well as changing quite a number of names, that is why I am actually reviewing one version and saving the other version for a completely different video. If I am able to gain access to the original Japanese version, which I know is going to be through online means, I will review the original Japanese version of Pokemon Season 1 at a later time in a different video. And now, here's my review of the first season of Pokemon. Oh, and I should probably play this.
I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was.
Pokemon Indigo League is a 4Kids entertainment production when it came to the localization as well as the script of the American version of Pokemon. It was animated by OLM, which stands for Oriental Light and Magic, and the American version aired from 1998 to 1999 in the United States. Now that I've already said those production notes, I'm going to start this review right off the bat by talking about the opening. It is the very best when it comes to American exclusive openings to the Pokemon franchise. No other American exclusive Pokemon opening ever was this good. I'm not going to deny it, and you're probably not going to deny this either. This song is catchy. You know the lyrics. I know the lyrics. There's a good reason why this opening stands out when it comes to American exclusive anime openings. The music in the American version of Pokemon was done by John Loeffler, and what's nice about the music in the American version is that they actually use themes from the video games and make certain renditions of those themes. So it's nice that they actually are in the source material that this anime really is adapted from. Pokemon Indigo League was airing at a time where English dubs really weren't that great. There were only a select few that were actually worth a darn to listen to. Now, the voice acting in Pokemon Indigo League may come off as cheesy in today's standards, but it's actually very memorable for a kids anime, especially a kids anime that got Americanized in the United States back then. And many of the voice actors that are heard in Pokemon Indigo League are actually standout voice actors. As far as kids anime goes with English dubs, Veronica Taylor will be greatly remembered for Ash, Rachel Lillis will be greatly remembered for Misty, and Eric Stewart will be greatly remembered for Brock and James. Yes, he actually voices both those characters. Oh, and Seta Kaiba and Pegasus from Yu-Gi-Oh!, which I also remember those voices. Surrender now or prepare to fight, Yugi boy. I do not get tired of Eric Stewart's voice like that. Now, since this is Pokemon that I'm talking about, and I am speaking for those that have a great nostalgia towards this series, including myself, and there's a good amount of people that love this series back then, I have to cast my nostalgia aside for a review of Pokemon, because I have to look at this, like any other work, and all of its factors. Character development is definitely where Pokemon lacks greatly in. Even though Ash is determined to be a Pokemon master and is friendly with his Pokemon, as well as having faith in his Pokemon during Pokemon battles, Ash can be a bit of an idiot sometimes, and this is usually played for jokes. Misty is bratty at times, and not much of her character has changed as the series progresses. And as for Brock, well, he likes the ladies. A lot. And they usually make this a huge running gag in many episodes. Not much of these characters have changed. And let's not forget the numerous Nurse Jennies and Nurse Joy and Officer Jennies. Goodness. You know what? I'm going to keep that error in this review because I am laughing at myself that I accidentally called Nurse Joy Nurse Jenny and almost said Officer Joy. So, I'm going to keep that. And let's not forget Gary freaking Oak, who is a one-dimensional rival who brags that he has more badges and girls than Ash does. Woohoo. Now, since Pokemon was aimed for kids, I don't mind these running gags that much because they are there to entertain kids. And that's fine. But the one running gag that gets old very fast is Team Rocket. Now, sure, these characters are popular, but they do the exact same thing, and we have already seen their situation been handled many, many times in Pokemon Indigo League. It's the same repetitive structure with these characters. It gets tiring having to hear, "Prepare for trouble, make it double," over and over and over, as well as hearing the Team Rocket theme over and over and over, and "Meow, that's right," over and over and over, and "Team Rocket's blasted off again," over and over and over. I get it. It's a kid's series. They kind of have to be repetitive that way. But this is excessive. I'll admit I didn't mind this as a kid, but looking back, it's the one thing that really sticks out like a sore thumb when it comes to Pokemon as a whole. However, if there's one thing that I don't think works well as a kid's series is how Ash sometimes wins his badges. He saves the day because Team Rocket interferes, and instead of actually continuing their match, some of the gym leaders are generous enough to give Ash their badges. And I wish they would have followed the games closely on that department. Because in the Pokemon games, you had to win all your badges fair and square. Now, Ash actually wins his badges in a fair fight, but only a few. Seeing as how the Pokemon battles are portrayed as some sort of competition, I find this to be a mixed message for kids, because seeing how some of these gym leaders are generous in giving Ash their badges because he saved the day, I don't think is a good message. I honestly think Ash should have won all those badges fair and square. And this is coming from me, who actually has competed in sports before. And this mentality of sports is, may the best team win. Plain and simple. May the best Pokemon trainer win. That's really how this should have been addressed. But they didn't. Also, major disappointment, the main antagonist was the Team Rocket boss, Giovanni, who happens to have the same name as me. I will defend one thing that some people have pointed out. Pokemon fights. Trainer versus trainer, trainer versus gym leader. This is based off a video game franchise. That's my only minor defense with it. Sure, that's a bit of a mixed message about Pokemon fighting each other, but it is a commercial for the video games after all. Now, even with my personal nostalgia towards Pokemon, I still think it is a fine anime to get kids into. And it was actually my first anime. I'm going to be shooting for a 5 out of 10 on Pokemon Indigo League. Now, if you excuse me, I have a destiny to fulfill to become a champion of the digital world.